my day started off a little bit slow, but it's getting pretty exciting. Dang brakes. Getting pretty exciting pretty quick. So, first off, Tamara got her diesel heater in early, so we're probably going to be installing that today. And also, while she went to go pick it up, we ended up meeting up with our friend Mr. the Van Nut, and had an amazing little meetup. Got to hang out with him for a bit. He actually purchased one of my dad's sticks, and he's the first person to actually purchase one. So that was really incredible. And I hope you enjoy it, brother. I really hope you do. But for right now, we're gonna be heading off for a shower, and then possibly doing Tamara's diesel heater. So we'll see how the day goes. All right, you guys, time to remove these lines. So these two lines here are the ones we're gonna be disconnecting just from these little clips. And those will go right to the rear heater, the factory rear heater, and then we can pull them out and get it ready for a diesel heater install. There you have it, folks. So it was just this wire, and that one. 3 bolts like this, 1 in the back, 2 in the front. Remove these 2 radiator lines, and we are going to be pulling these lines back out from underneath, but for now that's good. Okay, we got the diesel heater out. As you can see, I had to change my shirt because when it came to pulling those lines off, I actually got it in the face. Like I said, I can't do anything without not getting something in my eye. I'm okay, it's fine. I washed it off quick. But yeah, we've got the diesel heater out, or the factory heater out, sorry. Tamara's in here cleaning up the spot.
Encouraging him to wear safety glasses.
Safety glasses or not, it's getting in my eyes. But yeah, so we got it all, she got it all cleaned up nice. And we're gonna end up having to block off these holes here, and then making another hole where that middle screw is. And just because the diesel heater needs more space, you guys will see when we get it in there. But we're gonna line everything up and see what we can do next. She's got a muffler with hers. I don't even have one of these. And this is the plate. So you can take this, and then we'll measure that out for our holes. The manual, little fuel tank, and there's the money piece. Got a little fob on it. Hers is blue. Yours is so much nicer. And she actually has the screen that tells you a lot more about your diesel heater. I'll put a picture up in the corner right here of what mine looks like, and they're clearly different. I'm sorry. But that's it right there. And then this is all the stuff that it comes with. Look at that, you guys. It's like it's meant to go in there. Obviously it's upside down, but we just wanted to get a good visual of how it's gonna fit. Alright guys, so we got the hole all lined up. The way I lined it up is basically I put this metal plate on here and put the diesel heater in its place, and then just kind of slid the plate down so that it stays where it is, and pulled the diesel heater out. So now we know that it has clearance all the way around, and the plate is in the right spot. So now we're going to mark it out with a marker and drill the holes. Alright, we got the holes all marked out. Now we can remove the plate, and we know exactly where to drill. Alrighty, now that she's got the holes all drilled out, we're going to use this fancy dancy jigsaw and cut out the holes a little bigger just for the exhaust and the intake and the fuel line to run through, and then we can screw it all down. Alrighty, we got the hole drilled, cut out, putting the plate on, just these nuts, and then we're gonna use these screws to fasten that right to the floor. But I believe Mark installed the exhaust and the intake before he ran it down, so that he didn't have to go underneath and fight upside down to get these guys on. So I'm gonna use that little trick and get her done myself. Alrighty, you guys, we got the intake hooked up, the exhaust hooked up, and we're about to drop it in. After that, all we've got to do is hook up the fuel lines and then hook up the wiring. Yeah, so this is what it looks like from underneath. We're gonna shimmy it a bit so that we can get it into like an even placement, and then we're gonna run this. She actually has a muffler, so we're gonna be adding the muffler on a bracket, so it just looks like a normal exhaust. And then this guy, the intake, from experience with doing these installs with Mark the paint guy, I know that we really want to tuck this guy up as high as we can out of the way and away from the road, so that the tires don't really flick up on your intake. So any way that we can to try and block this guy off, that's what we're gonna do. Mind you, it is an intake, so it does need to breathe, and the exhaust is really important to try and poke it out from underneath your van, because if not, it'll like kind of just blow up underneath. And there's, as you've seen, there's a lot of pockets that can keep the gases and stuff, I guess you would say. But we're getting there. Alrighty, so we got her wiring connection hooked up here. This guy goes down to the fuel pump, so I just went around it with actually some old carpet to make a little grommet, and then she's gonna go around it with some tuck tape and then cover this hole off with tuck tape as well. And then this guy is the ground. This guy is the positive with an internal fuse on it itself. And then this guy will go to her screen. I'm gonna go underneath right now and hook up her fuel lines as soon as we get these guys mounted and it's all secure. Alright, you guys, now comes the fuel time. We're gonna mount her fuel tank right at the back, right along here. And then we're gonna go through her floor, set up her fuel pump, and then hopefully this thing will fire right up for us. Alright, you guys, so I got the hole drilled right here for the fuel line. And another recommendation from Mark the paint guy, we're taping up her fuel line where it actually goes through the floor. That way it has less of a chance for the metal to cut itself, to cut the fuel line itself. So thank you, Mark, for that tip, because I can guarantee you it probably would have happened knowing my luck. So we're gonna tape this guy up and hook it up to her fuel tank and then run it back towards her line. I'm gonna run it kind of backwards just so that we make sure everything covers and nothing's touching anything that could rub on and possibly poke a hole in the line. Because the lines that these diesel heaters come with, this one's actually a little better than the one I had, but the fuel lines that it comes with is not a permanent thing. I mean, mine's been in there for almost a year now, but I would recommend possibly getting a new fuel line, something a little more stout. You know, especially in Canada here where we have -40 winters. This does all right, it's tested and proven. Thankfully the kit does come with this, so she could at least get the thing pumping and going. Alrighty, we get the line down here, and we've got to run through here. So like I say, her tank is gonna sit right at the edge of her bed, similar to how Ruth's is set up. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and prep the tank with these puppies. And we gotta poke a little hole right here and finish off her fuel tank. Once we're done that, we're gonna go underneath, run the fuel line, make sure everything is all snug. And then we're also gonna come down here and finish pinning up her exhaust and her intake. Then we can click in her fuel pump, make sure it's on the right angle, and I think we're golden. But like I say, I gotta give credit to Mark the paint guy, because honestly, I wouldn't know how to do half of this stuff if it wasn't for watching him when he did our install on the express van, and also when we touched up on Ruth's van. And I watched him a little bit, I believe, when he did Jeffy Bear's van as well. So I was able to get all of that experience from learning from him and apply it to this. So hopefully, Mark, if you're watching, buddy, I think I got all the tricks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna see if this puppy fires up. Well, we're just about done. She's wrapping her fuel pump wires in electrical tape, because I actually had to extend it a little bit as of where I have her fuel pump closer to the rear. There actually wasn't enough wire to reach that far, so we decided we're going to extend it, reach it all the way to the back, and I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good, you guys. I'm gonna head in for a coffee right now, going to McDonald Mickey D, and then come back and see how she's doing. Then all we gotta do is plug everything in, go for fuel, and see if that thing fires. Alrighty, you guys, look at this. We've got them all installed. We got the ground in. We got the screen all connected. Whew. Everything's all hooked up to the battery. Her fuel tank is all in. Fuel line running through the floor. Now, she just has to open her hatch if she wants to fill her tank. And also, her exhaust is installed. Her intake is installed. Way of debris on the road. Fuel lines and fuel pump. They're all ran. I have her fuel pump right here, just going up to the floor. So now, all she's got to do is add some diesel, and we'll know if it fires up or not. So basically we're just waiting for the fuel pump light to come on to indicate that it's pulling fuel. It usually takes about 3 times of turning it on before the fuel will actually reach the diesel heater. Another tip from Mark is just to go underneath, listen to your fuel pump, and check your fuel lines to make sure the fluid is actually pumping. This is where having the clear fuel line comes in handy, because you could actually watch it reach your diesel heater. And with this one, it's clear to see that as soon as the fuel hit the diesel heater, it fired up perfectly. And if you listen closely, you can actually hear the first heartbeat of Tamara's new diesel heater. Yeah, buddy, she's pumping now. I could hear that thing. As soon as you see the fuel going up, she started kicking. Oh yeah, you could feel the heat. That is awesome. Look at that, you guys. So it looks like this guy managed to hook up something properly, and she has a diesel heater. That's gonna be exciting for the winter time. And that heater should definitely keep this little van warm. If it kept that big Express warm, it'll definitely keep this thing warm. Well, you guys, that was a pretty productive day. We got to meet up with the van nut, and we got to install a diesel heater in Tamara's van. So, on that note, I think I'm going to end the video off here. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you'd like to help support the channel a little more, you could always hit like, subscribe, or join the Junior family over on Patreon. But until next time, you guys, remember, never give up on living life, because life is the most precious thing we have. That's all, folks. See you in the next one.